Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. So glad you could join us. So glad to be back with you after a little bit of a sojourn for us over the Easter holiday. Hope everything went well. It was a peaceful holiday for you. We want to express our condolences to the Catholic community after learning the sad news about the passing of Pope Francis, and a little bit of a sad news there. But hope springs eternal here for us at Stepping Up to the Plate with all that is going on here in Milton and in the Boston area, sports-wise. We've got the Celtics in the playoffs. Game 2 is next on the docket against the Orlando Magic tonight. Yep. And then you've got the Red Sox. Oh, the Red Sox starting to get warm, starting to heat up. Al, my main man Al Prizzuti, joins us on the dais. So much to discuss and dissect. We've got the NFL draft coming up and how it portends for the Patriots. I've got some ideas to throw off of you. And just to catch up on some old sports news that we didn't get to address. The Masters, Al. An epic Masters win by Rory McIlroy in a playoff against Justin Rose. It was funny, Al, to listen to all the chattering class on sports radio kind of poo-poo it, as though Rory didn't earn it. And I was like, I almost called in to say, what are you guys talking about? Because he clearly earned that, to boot a 2-shot lead right out the gate against Bryson DeChambeau, and then to fight his way back up, get back up, and I was reminded of that song by Chumbawamba, I Get Knocked Down Again. You remember that song? I that's all I kept hearing. I said, that has to be the soundtrack to Rory McIlroy's day, because he kept getting knocked down, he kept getting back up. Get knocked down, get back up. 18th hole, he goes with the 1-shot lead, and he boots that putt after he could have made a sand save.
That's all he is.
Al, I tell you, you know what? We got to give credit where credit is due.
I give credit to Justin Rose. He sinks at the
no doubt.
No,
and you know what? And Rory showed great, magnificent grace towards Justin Rose because he felt for him as well. And there was no gloating by Rory McIlroy, and you saw that frustration that had been pent up inside, and how it just came to the fourth. And I think that's what makes it all the more authentic and real and genuine. And that's what I think draws people towards Rory McIlroy. And I think, Al, he's not done. I think he could maybe get this, just on the momentum of that, I think, he's got to be a threat at the other majors as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's taken him forever to win the Masters.
Yeah,
I mean, he hasn't won a major for a long time. I think this was kind of an anomaly because he's not a great putter anymore. I mean, he misses short putts.
Well,
his iron play was what won it.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I mean, the one on 15, the one on 18 even.
18, 17,
and then he missed it. But so I think he's up there, and there's probably 4 or 5 guys that are better. I mean, Scheffler's a better player.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see going
Nobody
forward.
hits it further than
Oh my goodness.
Rory.
Oh my goodness.
He
made so many great shots, but with his irons as well. But it was something to behold. Just like the Red Sox of late, Al, catching fire. They got Brian Bello back in the Liam Hendricks is back.
Bello was lucky to get out of the first inning. First of all, he went 5. He struck out 3 and walked 3. I didn't think he would pitch a great game. I mean,
but then he kind of pulled up a little bit there.
If you're looking at the
right?
Sox, I mean, the Sox are 14 and 11. They're only a half a game out of the Yankees. Okay.
Right.
But they're 6 and 7 on the road. And they're 8 and 4 at home.
And they're getting healthier.
Last few years, they hadn't been able to win at home. So 8 and 4 is still okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 guys that you got to look at for the Sox, Story, who's hitting .319 with 5 homers and 15 RBIs.
Yeah.
Bregman, who's hitting 302 with 4 homers and 19
Oh my God,
RBIs.
he had that 5-for-5 game. With
Yeah, and
2
Abreu, who's
Oh.
fallen off a little, but is still hitting 299.
He started off on a heater.
4 homers and 15. Now, you also have to look at these 3 guys, because if they don't play, the Sox are going to, and they're not going to win a championship. One is Devers,
Yep.
209.
He's starting
He's
to heat
hitting
up.
209.
He's heating up. You know what he's doing, though? He's getting on base
He's
out.
walking.
He's walking.
17 times. I mean, he's got 2 homers and 13 RBIs. Jared Duran, I'll tell you, is an interesting guy to watch. When he hit that ball last night and went from all the way to third base, the guy challenged him and it wasn't even close. So he's hitting.
And then Bregman goes. Didn't Bregman score on that too, or someone scored?
No, I think he led off the inning and went to
Well,
third.
there was
He
another
then,
one where he wanted
but then he came in because I think Bregman brought him home.
Yes, there you go. That's what I'm thinking.
But Duran, 243 with 1 homer and 11 RBIs. He hasn't hit like he's hit.
Right.
And then, of course, if Tristan Casas, my guess is if he continues to hit sub 200, which is the marginal line,
Yeah.
he's hitting 165 with 2 homers. He hit one last night.
He is starting to heat up too, I think.
Well, 2 homers and 7 RBIs.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, it's still
you're
early
talking
in the
about
season. Small sample, but
25 games.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, the Sox are going to look to trade him, I think. Anyways, then you've gotten on the pitching side, you got Crochet, who's obviously been, he's a
an
number
ace.
1. He's a 2-1, but,
Bueller.
well, Walker Bueller, the problem with him is he looks like Ferris Bueller. I mean, he was 3-1. He's given up 4 home runs. The guy that I think that's in trouble, and he's pitched okay the last time, is Houck. 0-2.
Yeah.
He's given up 6 home runs.
Yeah.
And his ERA is 9.
Yeah.
And the other kid is Fitz. He's 0-2. I don't think he's going to be in there when either Bello is
I think
in the
Newcomb may
rotation
come out.
and Giolotto is
Yeah.
there. Now, so you look at all that, and then you got Aroldis Chapman is 2-1.
And you got Garrett Whitlock, who's eating
And
innings.
Whitlock. But Chapman is a guy that will strike you out.
Yeah. So if you're Alex Cora, Al, and you're sitting right now looking back at where you were a year ago, how much more optimism do you have about going forward with this group?
I think Cora's an optimistic guy.
Well, I mean, he's got Alex Bregman right there.
I
You know,
don't
he's
think
got a healthy Trevor
Bregman
Story.
leads the league in errors as well.
Yeah.
So him and Story have made more errors than you would have thought. So that's a little enigma
Well,
for
you
the Red
can't
Sox.
expect a guy to go through an entire season without a few.
No, I know, but he's made more errors than he's made in any part of his
I'm sure he's
career
gonna
in
clean that
Houston.
up, you know.
So I think he's an optimistic guy, Cora. I think the Red Sox are not as good as everybody thought they were going to be at this point. Now, they could go on a roll,
I think they're on the verge of that.
but we'll see. I'll tell you what I like about the Sox is in the minors, they got Roman Anthony,
Yes.
who's on fire.
Yeah.
They've got
Marcelo
Mayer, who's actually hitting higher average than
Yes.
Anthony.
OPS is huge.
Then you've got this kid, Nelly Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid is really come up big time for the Sox.
Right.
They got Juan Valera, who throws 101 miles an hour.
Guys coming out through Low A Salem, yeah.
So you got all that, and they got Giolotto, who says he's ready. So they've got some replacements if they need it
Yeah.
for what they have. I think we'll see. I mean, Campbell's been okay,
Yeah.
but
It was-
Grissom's hitting as
Great.
well.
It was great to see Liam Hendricks back out there. His first game in almost 620 games
Yeah.
that he was able to go up against his old team. Didn't fare that well, but he came back in the first game, the opener against the Mariners, and did well. And it's got,
Yeah.
he didn't get the save. It was 8-3, but he still pitched like Liam Hendricks did. You
Yeah.
know, and I think there was an encouraging sign there as well. I think the bullpen has saved them so many times this year. They've gotten some stellar performances from the
they
bullpen.
did last night.
Well, they had that shutout, the combined shutout. I think when Crochet went there last, and so it was.
I think Crochet's got, like I think he said, he hasn't pitched as well as he can, and he's still pitching well. He strikes out a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Most lefties
Can you imagine
do.
when he gets to that point, when he's feeling it?
But the other guy, Bueller, is what he's going to be. He's a 3.
Yeah.
He's not a 2.
And here's the thing, Al. He himself has said this, and everyone around him believes it. He says, I'm going to get a no-hitter. I'll be getting a Crochet.
Oh, Crochet.
Crochet, every time he takes the mound now, it's going to be like, appointment television for everybody.
It depends on the team he's playing. He should have got one against the White Sox the first game. It goes 8 innings.
He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. Yeah.
Anyways, if we wanted to talk about the Patriots now,
yes,
you got
the
draft
NFL draft is this week, tomorrow, in fact.
Yeah.
It's the high holy holidays of the NFL is the draft. Everyone starts at the same level. Everyone's excited. So, Al, what are you excited about? What do you want to see the Patriots do with the 4th pick? Deal it?
Well, I tell you what they're going to do. They're going to take Will Campbell because first of all, he's an offensive tackle, which is what they need.
They need that, yes.
He's 6'6", he's 325 pounds.
He's got good motor, good feet.
Good
aggression.
And they've looked at him. He's from LSU. They looked at him and they like the kid.
Yeah.
The other guy who's also an offensive tackle that they're talking about a little is this Amon
Membo from
Missouri. He's 6'3", and he's 325 pounds.
I got a better guy for you. Kelvin Banks from the University of Texas.
Yeah.
Here, baby.
Well, I know you'd say that.
Well, if you watch that guy, and he performed well in the SEC, just like Will Campbell. Will Campbell gave up like 2 sacks, I think, over his last 2 seasons, which is extraordinary, especially in that league, where there's edge rushers galore at Florida, Georgia.
If they don't take an offensive lineman, they've got a cornerback and a running back who I don't think is going to be around. The kid from Colorado, Travis Hunter. I don't think he's going to be around.
Well, here's my take on this, Al. The Patriots draft is going to really hinge on what Cleveland does.
Well, there's a couple
what
of
Cleveland
teams.
does, because if Cleveland decides with the 2nd pick to get anybody other than Travis Hunter or Abdullah Carter, then one of those 2 guys is going to fall to the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots.
And if one of those 2 guys is on the board, that's who the Patriots should get.
I think if Travis Hunter is there, they'll take him, but I don't think he will.
Well,
be.
here's who I would go at. If those 2 guys are off the board when you get to number 4, then go for the guy that's going to score touchdowns for you.
No, I don't know.
Go for the guy that's going to score touchdowns for you.
That won't be Vrabel, though. Vrabel's job. It'll be.
This is a guy that would fit in right in Vrabel's wheelhouse. The kid Ashton Genty.
Well, Ashton Genty, first of all, he's from Boise State. He's only 5'9".
Touchdown maker.
Yeah, in college. He's 5'9".
Al, he's like a hybrid Barry Sanders, Saquon Barkley.
I don't think so.
He runs downhill like that.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you were to have Saquon Barkley on the draft board right now, wouldn't you take him?
No.
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 No?
I mean, I wouldn't take Ashton Genty for 2 reasons.
Look what he did for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, but he's 5'9", he's 215 pounds.
What he did for the Philadelphia Eagles is going to be the template, all right, by which all the other teams, I think, look at running backs in this draft now.
I don't think so.
Because you got a guy, a home run hitter. And here's the beautiful thing about Genty, Al. He just doesn't do it on the ground. He's a great receiver.
No, I know he's a great receiver.
So you're getting a 2-way thret in this guy.
I don't like his
Same as
size.
if you were going to do it with Travis Hunter.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could do that with Ramondre Anderson if he could, because he can catch the ball.
Well, yeah, but he's been dinged up a lot.
Yeah, man. Well, you don't know what's going to happen
So
to a kid who's 5'9".
But you add a weapon that's going to take pressure off of Drake May.
No, I don't think so.
In that regard. And then you can still get another guy. Or, Al, you can deal it to someone who wants Shedeur Sanders. Who wants Shedeur Sanders more than anybody? Here are the teams, the Cowboys and the Saints. And they pick further down the draft.
I don't know if they'll trade.
If you can get one of those to get in a bidding war, I think the Saints can give you best value if you can extract a receiver out of them and a first-round pick and then a couple of their second-round picks.
Yeah. Well, they got to look at. They're looking at a linebacker too. That Abdul Carter from Penn State.
Right.
I mean, he's 6'3", he's 259 pounds, and then Jalen Walker from Georgia.
Another good one.
He's a defensive lineman. He's
So,
6'2",
yeah.
245.
I have no problem with any of those picks. I would say you want to get a guy who can either score touchdowns or sack the quarterback.
Well,
That first rounders who are generational talent, you got to go for those guys.
what's the biggest need for the Patriots offensive lineman? If Campbell's there and they don't trade down, that's who they're going to take.
Yeah.
He's a big kid. He's been in. They liked him. They looked at him extensively. They need an offensive lineman. So unless they think that there'll be an offensive lineman further down the draft,
I think there could be.
and there could be.
I think there's going to be guys like Kelvin Banks.
Well, you know, it's interesting.
There's a couple guys from Georgia, Ohio State. You know,
I was looking at the guys that the Patriots have on their team and where they were drafted. Now you got Christian Gonzalez, who's drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
You got Christian Barrymore, round 2. Now that's a steal, if he's healthy.
Right.
You've had Marcus Jones in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
You've had Ramondre
Stevenson.
in the 4th round,
Right.
incidentally. That's another steal. And then Maffey was in the 5th round. Onowano in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Another
Michael
steal.
Onwenu. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Here's
if you
a guy
look at
that I
And
saw.
Tom Brady.
I saw in one of the predictions, and I like this guy a lot. It's a wide receiver from Stanford. His name is Eric Elanamor Maynor, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him in that game against Colorado. This guy had an unreal game. In fact, Travis Hunter could not cover him. Travis Hunter was on him, and he made a catch against Travis Hunter where he pinned the ball against Travis Hunter's helmet. and he's a big guy, 6'2", 206. He can play in the Y. He can play the X. You know, you can maybe make him as a tight end in and then release against people. That's a guy who could be like a steal. You watch out for that guy.
I think Vrabel, though, is a guy that's going to say, I need to protect May.
Yeah.
So that's an offensive lineman because their offensive line stunk last year.
I think you protect May by being able to score touchdowns with anybody else except his arm.
You know,
Reliant
without an
upon
offensive
his
line,
arm.
you don't have the opportunity to set up because you got to get rid of the ball really quick.
You got to hand it off.
So,
Hand it off to run.
yeah, but I mean, it makes it much more difficult unless you have a good offensive line, and I think Campbell
Well,
fills the bill.
It's funny. I agree with you, Al, because you look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did.
Yeah,
They built their offense around that line.
right.
They had a devastating offensive line. Then they wound up, by happenstance, being able to get Saquon Barkley, and Barkley was just unbelievable. Made them a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, but those are those guys. I don't think they drafted a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I think picks
I think
like
the one
you
guy
say.
they did draft was Kelsey, Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
You know, but they drafted him, and you know, that was a find for them.
I think
he was
the
a 6th-round guy.
the key for the Patriots is who goes 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah,
because that's an important aspect. If one of those guys that the Patriots say we'll never get them because they're going to go here, here, or there is available, then Campbell becomes maybe we should take one of those. Travis Hunt.
yeah.
But if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, let's put it that way,
Grab Will Campbell.
then they're going to grab Will Campbell. I'm almost positive of it. They also need, as you said, a guy who can rush the passer. When they lost, what's his name there, to Baltimore,
Matthew Judon. Yeah.
Judon, that's what he did well.
Yeah,
I mean, he put pressure on the quarterback, whether he got to him
yeah.
every time.
He took time and space away from him.
So what I think the Patriots need, because I think they feel they got the quarterback and they filled in some pretty good players that might be able to pass, catch, then you need things that you can't buy. Defensive linemen, offensive linemen.
Well, things sometimes you can't buy, Al, are talent. You know, players who can execute, players who can put the ball in the end zone. You know, I would value that more than anything. And but I think Vrabel values what maybe the Philadelphia Eagles value, which is toughness. You know, offensive-minded toughness.
Yeah, well.
and teams that can pound the ball. I mean, look at the type of guys that he got. He was able to go get guys that, like Derrick Henry, tough physical runner.
I think Ramondre Stevenson with a good offensive line is even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
And if he stays healthy and he doesn't fumble.
At the end of the season, it was infuriating to me to watch him run the ball. He would run into the pile and then turn his back and kind of try to back in to a first down play or something. And it was just watching a kid playing Pop Warner, trying to make a first down.
Well,
but it was infuriating. But let's see what happens. Thursday's going to tell us a lot, Al. I'll be in touch if they get Campbell.
Well, like tonight, now we're going to watch the Celtics. I guess
Al.
the two things there. One,
hey, Al, congratulations to my man Peyton Pritchard, NBA Sixth Man of the Year.
Not even close.
Not even close, Al.
83 of the 100 all voted for him.
Yeah.
I mean, first.
He had 81 first place votes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to him last night. He says, I think I could even be better next year. Every time I score, I think I could score every time I shoot the ball. He's a confident kid.
He is.
And I think he has the abilities. Well, you know what? He catches the ball, and as soon as he puts it in his hand, he releases it. So
or he goes by you.
He's
or he
a
can
tough
go by
guy
you.
to cover.
Yeah.
So I think that's one. I think the bigger question for them tonight is going to be Tatum wrist.
Yeah.
I saw it looked kind of red when they showed it to him. He did have an MRI, and they said it wasn't.
It was a bruise.
It wasn't a problem, a bruise. But you've also got to be careful with Brown because he's at the tendon knee.
Yeah.
Going up for a rebound, coming down on a guy's sneaker, or your foot gives out, happens to everybody.
Yeah, it happened to Tatum, remember, in that seventh game against the Heat.
And Porzingis could go down at any time because he's another.
But
if any of those three go down, they're in trouble.
You notice something about the way these games are being played now? Ultra physical, and they're letting a lot go. They're letting a lot go.
Same thing in the NHL.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I think teams know that he's hurting, his shooting wrist is hurting. So guess what's going to happen?
Yeah, wow.
Guess what's going to happen now? People are going to be slapping at it. If he comes out, first thing they're going to do is test that wrist.
The NBA
slap it when
and
they
the
go.
NHL are almost the same thing. During the season, they let things go.
No easy baskets now.
They don't let things go. They let things go very tight. I mean, physical.
Yeah.
Same thing with the NHL. Guys are going up and down, up and down, up and down. They don't. Now everybody hits.
Right.
Goalies are hitting.
Oh, yeah. Did you see?
I did. The Toronto goalie. Yeah. But anyways.
He was roughing everybody up. But the thing is, expect more of that. But it's not just this series. I was looking at the Lakers and their series. Oh, my God. And then you looked at the Pacers and the Bucks. It's like a brawl every time they go down. You should see how many bodies hit the floor every possession. Al, it's just like, and then the Knicks. Oh my God, it's like hand-to-hand combat.
No, I know.
And it's just not. It's not.
Well, Pritchard. Mazzulla said it the other night. He said he thought that the other team in the second period, I think it was very physical.
Yeah.
And they needed to match that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what happened with McHale and the Detroit Pistons years ago and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It
was two franchises passing in the night there.
Now, in the short time, the Bruins have a possible coaching change. Now, Sacco, I hate to see him go because I think Pasternak came out and said yesterday he loves the guy. But the guys that I read just recently, I think Tortorella's, he's out there. And, whether you like him or you don't like him, he's a local. He knows how to coach.
Yeah, but look how many jobs he has.
Well, I don't think it matters in the NHL because look at it, they all run around. Once you lose it, look at Lavalette. He's a guy that they would consider. He's been everywhere. He was at the Bruins. He's with the Rangers. He's with Philadelphia. So you got this guy Greg Cronin, who incidentally was the runner-up to Montgomery when the Bruins were looking the last time. So he's in there, and you got this David Kane or whatever his name is, Carl.
David Quinn?
Carl. He's also available. I think it's going to be an important decision for them, one.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to name somebody quickly before the draft.
Do you think that they go in-house?
No. The only other guy that could make it is the BU coach, Pandolfo,
Bingo.
because he's been
That's what I
there.
was thinking of.
But he still has never coached an NHL team.
Right.
And the Bruins are in need of somebody who really can see this kid doesn't do this, he can't do that, we need this. Now, here's some possible centers that are going to be available. You've got Matt Duchene, because he's a free agent, and Brock Nelson. I would prefer Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
I would prefer him if they could get him.
Yeah.
It could cost them. The Bruins got a big problem with the salary cap. Yeah. On forwards, there's two. There's Brock Besser, not one of my favorite. Mitch Marner, if he's available.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And
but you know what, though? He kind of disappeared in that series last year against the Bruins. Remember that?
Yeah, well,
he was like a non-entity at the end.
He's still a
there.
player. And I think if they could get him, that would be because he's well liked in Toronto.
Pair him with?
They like him. Well, I mean, you can pair him with anybody.
Pasta.
You know, the question is going to be Elias Lindholm, because at the end of the year, he came on pretty well because he was playing with Pasta.
Yeah.
So, who set him up.
Yeah.
So he scored 17 goals, I think. He had 6 for half the season. So if they could get Mana and Brock Nelson on defense, the only guy that I can see is this Aaron Ekblom with the Panthers.
No.
He's available. Now you got to remember that Marchand
is going to be a free agent now.
He's going to be a free agent.
They can get him back.
And if he plays, if the Predators win both the first 2 series, the Bruins get their first pick. If they don't, they get the second pick. If Marchand doesn't play in the first 2 and they win, and he already is playing. So if they make the second round,
Bruins get their first pick.
they get the Panthers' first pick.
Wow.
Plus,
It doesn't matter how many minutes that Marchand plays?
Plus, he's a free agent.
Wow.
So they could get a first-round pick out of the Panthers, plus they could get Marchand back. You know what? Players like him. Looks like they like him down there. I mean, he's...
What's not to like?
No, I know, but I mean, everybody hates him when he was a Bruin.
Matthew Tkachuk are probably having
Now
a
you
load
put him
right
on
now.
the team. So you got all that going on with the Bruins. I think the other issue that we didn't talk about was Justin Thomas. Now, Justin Thomas just won the Hilton Head tournament. Hadn't won in years.
Called a penalty on himself, Al.
You know what? That's an interesting thing because I watched it very carefully.
It cost him a lead.
He's the guy that went to them and said, the ball was here. Now, that wasn't a sand trap incident.
There was a waste bunker.
A waste bunker.
Yeah.
He said, when I started to clear around, he said, it moved.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it was a result of a rotation
Yeah.
or if it moved from here to there. If it moved at all,
He's got a call.
not a
stroke.
rotation.
He's got a call stroke.
It's
on
a
himself.
penalty. And he did. Called the guy over and he said, I think it moved.
Yeah. So, kudos to him.
I'm not a big fan of him, but I think he
won you over,
He
Al.
did the right
He
thing.
won you over. Yeah.
He's a good player. I mean,
All right. Well, we're gonna miss Al next week. He's gonna be on a
Sojourn.
South Atlantic sojourn with his lovely wife Judy. We wish them well, and we can't wait to see you back here on Steppin' Up to the Plate. All righty, everyone. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.